Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture. Just love it. V for Vendetta. That's from Dan Scavino. We're going to look at that a little bit more here in a moment. Do you see how the priority to clean up the government is already playing out? Do you sense the enormity of what's going to take place in 2026? I certainly sense it, and we're holding the line. We're told to. We're remaining calm, staying in prayer, continuing to expose the evil around us. The exposure phase is just about up, and I think we're going to see some amazing things play out for all of us in the future. So, how it started in 2025 was J.R. Biden Jr. there. Team Trump put this out with his auto pen. That's right. And how it ended in 25 was President Trump giving that eye of, guess what? I'm taking charge, and our team is going to do a great job. Dr. Jan Halper Hayes said to those who complain that Trump has not lived up to promises of his first term, let me respond. You are not seeing what is happening as you are blinded by what you think should be happening. He and his cabinet secretaries, are doing much behind the scenes. Now, if you really listen to Trump, you would know he uses distractions and deflections to divert attention from the crucial issues. Just because you can't see or know what is being done, the outcomes are the evidence. Remember this video in the beginning, I covered up with a couple of cool memes, but we have the Dilly meme team putting this together, and you've got Don Jr., you got Dan Scavino in this video, and of course they put this out. I'm sure they needed permission. You got General Flynn there. You got John Durham. That's right. You got Dan Scavino again, and then 2026 Happy New Year, almost like something that's going to play out. And also, when there is a party at Mar-a-Lago, look at this. President Trump walks in with his wife, Melania, and she's wearing all silver. And do you hear the song the musicians are playing? That's right. Hi-Yo Silver. That's from the Lone Ranger theme song about silver. But President Trump had nothing to do with the price of silver, right? Where we go one, we go all. Well, do you guys know that silver's atomic number is 47? Ag is the symbol. And did you know that A and G are the numbers 1 for A and 7 for G would be the number 17? Just in case you guys are wondering, you know, everybody likes those reminders every now and then. Also, there is a 17-minute display on the Washington Monument for, you know, going into the New Year's. 250 Freedom presents the illumination of America at the Washington Monument, celebrating 250 years of the United States of America. And looking forward to our next incredible chapter. Another thing that was really interesting about this is the 13. So if you look at the timestamp or the time that this was played, it was 17 minutes and 13 seconds. Well, also, President Trump put out, windmills are killing all of our beautiful bald eagles. That's not a bald eagle on your screen. It's very interesting. Bald eagle would be what? It would be representing the United States of America, and you got that number 13 on the windmill. Very interesting to look at this picture and see that 13 represents what? The Illuminati, or the families, the 13 families that are destroying our country. And so they put 1713 there. A reminder from 13, President Trump, the windmills are killing all of our what? They're killing the Americans. That would be the 13 bloodline families, as a reminder, I believe, for all of us. And there was something that played on. Let me just play a little bit of that video from Washington Monument in case you guys missed it.
Began not as an idea invented in the minds of men, but as a land discovered. When Christopher Columbus looked west across the endless ocean, he sailed for glory, for gain, and for God. 3 ships traveled into the unknown, daring to go where no man had gone before. What they discovered changed the course of history. They carved homes out of the wilderness. By the sweat of their brow, they built a new world, rooted in the European civilization they left, but infused with the spark of liberty. In time, that spark grew. Galloping through the midnight darkness, Paul Revere warned the colonists that the hour had come to choose. Freedom or tyranny. Liberty or death. With the shot heard round the world, a ragged band of patriots challenged the mightiest empire on earth. Starving, outnumbered, and outgunned, the Americans had little reason for hope. But General Washington kept the flame alive, leading his soldiers through the frozen misery of Valley Forge, against all odds. With the aid of our allies like France's Marquis de Lafayette, Spain's Bernardo de Galvez, and Poland's Tadeusz Kościuszko, America won one of the greatest military victories the world had ever seen.
Pretty amazing production, right? Put on that Washington Monument for those looking at your screen. I don't know how they do that, but it's very important that we look into that. Also, wanted to look at Trump's economy.
6.18% 30-year fixed mortgage, that's down. 3% shelter inflation, 2.7% overall inflation, down a little bit, but the GDP number there, the last one, 4.3%, booming.
Yeah, you know, these numbers, I think it's sometimes the mortgage rate for
Oh, it's so good to see, folks, and we're just getting started, right? It's the first year. Still got 3 left and maybe 4 more after that. Who knows how that's going to work? But in the meantime, just want to show you a couple of other things that are going on with the work behind the scenes.
California is delaying the mass cancellation of commercial driver's licenses for around 17,000 migrant truckers.
There's that number 17 again. California delaying cancellation of 17,000 commercial driver's licenses, right? It's not going to work out for them.
It's now pushed back until March 6th. The state says this allows more time to ensure drivers who legally qualify can continue working. Transportation Secretary Duffy responding, saying, quote, Gavin Newsom is lying. The deadline to revoke illegally issued unvetted foreign trucker licenses is still January 5th. California does not have an extension to keep breaking the law and putting Americans at risk on the roads. The state now jeopardizes its federal funding.
Oh, boy. Oh, California. Well, it looks like even Gavin Newsom might be running for president, huh?
For the people. Gavin Newsom, Campaign for Democracy, Pete Buttigieg, Win the Era, and AOC, Courage to Change PAC. Does that tell you they are all likely to run, Jason?
It does, and it just bodes well for Republicans. I don't think if you're on the Republican side of the aisle, there could be a better lineup than those 4. Led there by Kamala Harris. I just, it's a desperate plea for relevancy. She got slaughtered by Donald Trump in the election. And I have yet to meet a person, Mike, who comes up and says, boy, I really wonder what Kamala has to say. So the idea that she's going to, raise money so she can get out and speak more.
Yeah, pretty shocking. But I don't know. It seems like that's the way it's going to play out to continue to wake people up. We got a lot more to cover on what President Trump's doing. Also, I'm going to have a lot of humor for us. That's right. Some memes have been put together and some funny ways by Daily Meme Team and others. Stand by.
Prior to December 2021, my husband Larry was a healthy, active man with no health concerns or underlying conditions. He was a college lecturer and successful musician, but that was all taken away from him on the 15th of December 2021. That was the day he received a COVID Pfizer booster injection in Oma Leisure Centre.
Well, that heartbreaking story from Larry Lowe's wife. She's talking because it's too hard for him to speak. Just because she didn't react immediately to the COVID jab, it doesn't mean you are in the clear. Mysterious symptoms and even deaths are surfacing months, sometimes years later. So you look at this, the VAERS reports show way more COVID vaccine injuries than something as common as Tylenol. And get this, experts estimate only 1% of cases are even reported. Plus, shedding means you could be exposed even if you skip the shot. Now, mRNA vaccines could be in our livestock, even organic. Why are mRNA vaccines different? It's the spike proteins. These proteins meant to train your immune system can interact with blood vessels and platelets, potentially causing clotting or inflammation. Overwhelming evidence shows millions are affected. So what's the solution? It starts with your gut. A healthy gut microbiome is the number one factor in fixing damage from vaccines, antibiotics, and the standard American diet. And the best way to boost gut diversity is kimchi. Studies like one from the National Institute of Health show kimchi's incredible power to restore gut health. But let's be real, eating kimchi daily isn't easy. That's where Bright Course Kimchi 1 comes in. Delivers 900 probiotic strains, live enzymes, and antioxidants in one convenient capsule. No mess, no taste. It supports digestion, energy, metabolism, immunity, and more. The And We Know listeners can get 25% off Kimchi 1 with code AUK at mybrightcore.com/AUK or call 888-317-9941 for up to 50% off plus free shipping today.
He said,
Two F's come to mind. The first being fraud by design. This wasn't an accident. This didn't just happen. It's a system that's designed by the left for people in their social circles. It starts all the way at the top of the federal government with the Obama administration, promulgated even more by the Biden administration. It runs down to the states, to governors across the country, including Governors Walz and Governor Mills. And even at the local level, you see the bad actors, you read the headlines, you see what's happening right here in Maine, certainly in Minnesota, and I would agree with what's been said so far that this is just the tip of the iceberg, folks.
just the tip.
The other F is financial Armageddon. That's what we're heading for. If you don't think that the Trump administration is serious about getting a handle on this, you're probably on another planet. This is going to have implications for the state of Maine in the billions with a B
Every state.
of dollars. This will spell financial Armageddon for our state. We have got to get a handle on this problem.
I saw that, and then I saw right after that this.
Hold the line. Stay with me. Brothers, what we do in life echoes in eternity. Strengthen on, strengthen on. At my signal, unleash hell.
Drip, drip, flood. All of this was done so that we could come to this moment. I have never been so convinced in my life of what is happening back and forth all the time. All the time. It's almost like one of the rides at the amusement park. I go back and forth all the time. But I saw that and literally got the chills. And I know when that happens, what has happened prior in my life, it's always so good what happens. And it's the truth. It's the truth. That's how I know it's the truth, is I get the chills.
Yep, we played this on our intro the other day when, of course, one of my favorite movies out there shows the opening scene, right? And when he makes that call on his signal, it's time to unleash. Gladiator. Great line, great acting. And I tell you what, throwing President Trump in the middle of this makes you feel like, hey, on his signal, they're about to do it. President Trump was busy on New Year's. He put out, Republicans, no more money to fat cat insurance companies. The money must go directly to the people to buy their own health care. President DJT. Also, he said that we're removing the National Guard from Chicago. Los Angeles and Portland, despite the fact that crime has been greatly reduced by having these great patriots in those cities and only by that fact. Portland, Los Angeles, and Chicago were gone if it weren't for the federal government stepping in. We will come back, perhaps in a much different and stronger form, when crime begins to soar again. Only a question of time. It is hard to believe that these Democrat mayors and governors, all of whom are greatly incompetent, would want us to leave, especially considering the great progress that has been made? Question. President Donald J. Trump. He continued, much of the Minnesota fraud, up to 90%, is caused by people that come into our country illegally from Somalia. Congresswoman Omar, an ungrateful loser who only complains and never contributes, is one of the many scammers. Did she really marry her brother? Lowlifes like this can only be a liability to our country's greatness. Send them back from where they came. Somalia, perhaps the worst and most corrupt country on earth. Make America great again. Nick Sorter jumped in and said, hey, over 40 daycare centers in Columbus, Ohio, opened up using the same defunct Somali shell company on the same day and collected $14 million in subsidies in 2024 alone. Just cut off the subsidies all together. Somebody got together and said, hey, we're going to create our own daycare center, start making money. Look at this.
500, 600, 700.
What the heck is this?
900, 1,000.
Granny, what is going on here?
I've started a daycare center.
Why on earth would you do that?
Apparently, it's how one can get rich these days.
We're already full-time farmers and ranchers. We don't have time for this.
It's going to make us more than farming ever has.
But there aren't any children around here for miles.
I know that.
And your facilities are definitely not up to code.
Doesn't matter.
And your hours of operation don't even make sense.
You know farmers, they don't run on normal people time.
And who made your sign?
Gatemart.
Well, that explains the misspelling.
I knew he'd mess that up.
So where did you get your proof of concept for this daycare anyway?
Minnesota.
I really don't think...
I'm the captain now.
Oh, some folks are getting in on this humor, and they're like, hey, I'm going to figure this out. Even though it's funny, it's still sad what they've done to us. I wanted to show you this. The Democrats said that FEMA had no money for Americans on Maui. Remember, the Democrats said FEMA had no money for Americans in East Palestine, Ohio. Democrats said FEMA had no money for Americans in Western North Carolina, but FEMA had extra dollars, $1 billion to spend on illegals. As a bonus, the Democrats gave illegal aliens 7 times more in cash benefits than American military families. Starting to get sick yet? You starting to realize what they've done to us? Yeah. The pirates. Speaking of pirates, wanted to show you another great production. Enjoy.
Are you tired of your 9-to-5 job? Wishing for a more fulfilling and lucrative career? Then look no further than starting your own daycare center today, and you don't even need children to attend. Just rent a building and watch the tax dollars roll in.
And thanks to tampon-loving Timmy, all you need is to be Somali.
That's all you need. Just be from Somali, fly in, start your own daycare center, and you'll be raking it in, folks. And all that you see on that table is our hardworking tax dollars. And they're laughing about it. Don't know if you know this, but they tried to get in front of everything, and they're going after the after Shirley guy that did the reporting. They're also saying that somebody broke into the Somali daycare, the Comas daycare. Someone broke in, stole all their documents the other day. Actually had nothing stolen, per Minneapolis police. So the owners lied, knowing a federal investigation was imminent. The place needs to be raided now. President Trump even said a total fraud. Minnesota Somali daycare bizarrely reports all their important documents about childcare were stolen in a mysterious break-in. Wow. Can you imagine this? Tyler Oliveria, well, he says 100 days of your working year gets taxed to fund the importation and enrichment of third world parasites that hate you, hate your culture, hate your religion, hate your language, hate your history, hate your heroes, hate your success, and hate your laws. Oh, yeah, here's CBS giving some time to them.
Now, this is where they say the vandals got into the daycare through cinder block and appeared to be unsuccessful when trying many other ways. The daycare says it appears the vandals first tried to saw into the door of the Family Dollar next door in the shopping center, but that didn't work. The manager claims those who broke in went straight to the office, stealing information of the many children who were taken care of here.
We are not a part of any harmful things that are being said.
Oh, man. So let's get this. They steal billions from our country, but they claim that somebody broke into their center and stole some documents on children that don't even really attend there. And this guy that got up in front of the press to give his statement, well, it just so happens to be, the manager of an extremely successful daycare center in Minnesota. And he has $2,500 glasses on in a $500,000 home.
I want to say that there are hundreds of daycares out there, Somali daycares that are out there, and we all help our children and everyone in our community. We have high quality daycares, and this is very sad news that one individual who made a false claim about fraud that is happening in the daycares, how engaged everyone else to come and do this to us.
One individual is out there falsely claiming that we're doing these things. No, he's proven the facts, and now you guys are trying to get behind it and say, well, no, nothing's happening. Keep your eyes off of us. Oh, as a matter of fact, somebody broke in right after that, and report went out, and they're just we just don't have any evidence now to show you anything. We're sorry. Man, I got a lot more to show you from these press conferences. But first, I just want to remind you, I haven't done this in a while, but you can go to andweknow.com and you can get our merch there, the And We Know merch. And if you go to the contact button that you see at our website, andweknow.com, you can send us pictures of you or your family wearing the gear. We'd love to get those photos. We also still have the Freedom Cruise available, 2026. You guys will join us March 15th through 22nd. Out of Fort Lauderdale to Puerto Rico. We're going to have a blast together. And it just so happens that it looks like Julie Donuts will be joining us also. So we have another great podcaster / informer, always doing a great job for all of us that's going to happen to attend. And we're looking forward to that. Follow me, Making Fishers of Men shirts available. We've got our polo shirts. We've got so much gear. Check out more great patriots wearing our gear.
These guys are really bad.
So this is Quality Learning Center. I meant to say Quality Learning Center.
They're taking billions and billions of dollars. Yo ho, we now know the Democrats on the ring, exploiting Somalis for profit and gain. The women are so damn ugly. They marry their brothers, our money they steal with white liberals enabling. Yo ho, stop ho, give us back all our money. Incestuous family, so many things wrong. You're dirty, your governor's gay. Your scam is exposed, we're coming for you. Your women senators look like men. Oh, your party is over, we're coming for you. You're ghetto pirates at best. It's time to deport, it's time to expose. It's time for criminal arrest. Yo ho, we now know the Democrats on the ring. You're a bunch of retarded pirates.
The Dilly meme team at it again. And they actually took, it looks like, footage from the real ride of the Pirates at Disney. Oh, my goodness. How in the world they think of this and put it together is absolutely phenomenal. That one looks familiar there if you guys have been on that ride. Looks just like them. And then, of course, you got the dog with the keys, and they're saying, come here, little puppy. We want to get those keys now to get us out of jail. Just perfect. Well, we've got more exposure coming up soon. This was on the PBD podcast.
We have a whole nother video coming out about the other fraud that's taking place.
You have more. This is Nick Shirley for those listening. He's got more.
Whole new video coming out.
Whole new video. It's going to be a masterpiece because it is crazy. And each and every single time.
More than the first?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be crazier because now the Somalis were they were after me. Like they were coming and people were stopping in the middle of intersections, hopping out of their car, and I had to get security for this video, coming out just trying to literally attack me.
I saw one of the videos that somebody tried to attack you and you try to protect your camera guy.
Yeah.
Is that still part one or is that part two?
There's so much going on, I don't know.
You know which one I'm talking about? Because I saw one of the clips where you're like, no, you didn't let the guy hit your camera guy. Every time they were swinging at the camera guy, you were standing in front of it.
Yes, I think that was part one. Part one, yeah.
Could have been.
Yeah, that was part one. This one, people were literally pulling over and getting out, like in the middle of an intersection at a red light. They're stopping their car and coming out, and they're just coming out and trying to slam me for being a racist, for being Islamophobe. Meanwhile, I'm interviewing another black man in Minnesota, and they're calling me a racist.
We got a lot more coming. You know, that press conference they had the other day, it's almost like our Heavenly Father was somehow involved because they kept messing up and actually stating facts and realized what they were doing. Check this out.
And I do see some signs over here that say stop fraud, and I agree, stop it. There are wait lists for these programs that are years long. There is fraud,
There's fraud. Oops. There is fraud. Oh, let's see if another one messes up.
If childcare is cut, I'm unable to work or go to school. I understand fraud is bad.
Oh, it is. And now you realize what you said. Oh. Oh, you going to continue? Come on now. Oh, I can't do this. I can't do this. I feel too guilty. Fraud is bad. I've been caught. Speaking of that, independent journalist confronted someone at a place listed as a child care center in Washington State. Walks up to him, and guess what happens?
Hi, is this Halali childcare? No. No? There's no childcare here? Okay, got it. Thank you so much. Have a good one. There's no childcare. All right, guys, we were just at Halali, what's allegedly Halali Child Care Center in Kent, Washington, which is right behind me right here. We went up to the door, the exact address listed on the state website, receiving over $800,000 in 2023. They claim there's no child care here.
How about that? $864,000 of taxpayer money since mid-2023. Can you imagine? You're working, get your paycheck, and you say, well, give me some of that. You take about 20, 30% out, and you're like, hand it to the daycare center. Here you go. You guys keep this. Are there any kids in here? Oh, it's 3 registered kids. Then you find out all of your neighbors are doing the same thing. They're taking their paycheck, 30%, and they're handing it to them. And they're like, thank you for allowing us to come to this country and steal your money. It's been wonderful. Well, CBS News, they attempted to discredit Nick Shirley by showing there were actually 4 children at the ABC Learning Center. Yeah, they're working hard behind the scenes. They got to get their folks out there. Hey, we need it. We need to stop this mess from happening. Go out there and prove that there are kids at that learning center. But what CBS actually did was prove him right. Babysitting for kids while the federal government pays you for 40 kids is fraud. So babysitting 4 kids, just 4 of them, not FOR, 4, the number 4. They were taking care of 4 children, but they're getting paid for 40 children. This place has taken almost $3 million in subsidies over 3 years.
Is this daycare committing fraud?
No, we're not committing fraud.
Hassan showed us security footage from the same day Shirley was here. According to the timestamps in the videos, this woman takes a young child into the center at around 9 a.m. that day, about 3 hours before Shirley arrives at the door closer to the street. Within the hour after Shirley leaves, a woman arrives at the other door with a stroller. A larger family heads inside a few hours later.
See? So all the people brainwashed by the media that they worship and love, those liars, they'll be like, see, there's kids going there. That Nick Shirley guy's just a liar. He has no idea what he's talking about. No, what they did was made some calls. Hey, bring some folks over now. Okay, use that footage and get that onto the news. And even though we don't have 40 children here, we only have 4, but it's going to work just enough. So get them in here so we can get the news out there, and they're going to work behind the scenes to help us out since the news is probably getting paid off too. Well, then you got somebody named Katie Wilson for Seattle mayor. She said, I stand with the Somali child care providers who have experienced targeted harassment. How dare people come out here and find out what they're actually doing, huh? She continues, and condemn the surveillance campaign promoted by extremist influencers. See, they're not just influencers, they're extremists. How dare they go out there with microphones and cameras and expose what we're doing? She says, if you believe yourself to be the victim of a hate crime, it's hate now. It's hate to go out and do investigative reporting. Please call this hotline. The Assistant Attorney General, Harmeet Dillon, said, asking questions and citizen journalism, it's not hate crime in America. They are protected speech. And if Seattle tries to chill that speech, at Civil Rights will step in to protect it and set them straight. Govern yourselves accordingly. Daycares in Minnesota donated a combined $35 million to political campaigns in the last 2 years. They didn't even try to hide the money trail. There it is on SomaliScan.com. And then you've got a guy digging. The taxpayer, he's digging, and he's got all these guys standing around looking at him. The free college guys looking at him, the free health care, the free internet, the free debt relief, the free transportation, the free family leave, the free reparations, the free housing, and the free child care are watching the taxpayers dig and dig and dig.
Department of Health and Human Services froze $185 million for childcare in Minnesota and created new verification requirements for businesses to be able to be reimbursed. Despite the claims of widespread fraud, though, that has allegedly been allowed to go on for years, Minnesota Democrats are criticizing the president for this temporary pause.
We're taking fraud seriously. We're working every day to improve our systems, hold those criminals accountable, and move our state forward. That's why it's
all the Democrats saying we're doing the best we can. They're in trouble. I can't wait to see the spigots close. So much more. We're going to have reactions from other Americans, CNN having to give an apology, and so much more here in a moment. You know what's happening in this country. Big corporations and the deep state are swallowing up family farms and ranches. We're talking 15 to 30,000 gone every year. Folks, in just the last 5 years, 20.1 million acres of farmland erased. Families who've been raising your food for generations are being pushed off their land, and the ones who survive, well, they're hidden behind big corporate brands never recognized. That's why I want to introduce you to Tri-Tails Beef. They're a fifth-generation Texas family ranch, and they raise cattle the right way. Pasture-raised, grain-finished for flavor and tenderness, and never touched with mRNA shots. And here's something I love. They even source from other ranchers who meet their same high standards. It's all the same care, genetics, and integrity. Their beef is the real deal. High-end Black Angus genetics, aged to perfection, shipped straight from the ranch to your door. This isn't just about a steak. It's about taking a stand for American ranching, real food, and the families who make both possible. So if you want to fight back, if you want to keep your dinner table connected to real American hands, go to trybeef.com/AWK and support Tri-Tails today in the description box below.
This may look like your typical single-family home, but it bills itself as an assisted living facility. and it receives a lot of taxpayer money. Here in Minnesota, the number of people getting help in assisted living facilities is up, double the growth of other programs. But here's the kicker. The rate of payment in this assisted living space is 10 to 15 times the growth in other programs.
Hi.
So we pulled the data on assisted living facilities in the Minneapolis area. Minneapolis, as you might expect, has a lot, 169. St. Paul, with a population of 307,000, has 83. But Brooklyn Center, 30,000 population, has 106. And Brooklyn Park, population of 84,000, has 181, more than Minneapolis, a city 5 times its size. But this assisted living facility puts this all in perspective. It's owned by a man indicted for laundering $1 million in the Feeding Our Future scam. He's Gandhi Mohammed, now Gandhi Abdi Kadai, and his LLC owns the homes. His wife runs the assisted living facilities, and the state is continuing to pay as he awaits his trial. Okay. We went to each of them.
We're curious because the man who owns this building was indicted in the Feeding Our Future scandal. Did you know that?
No.
Don't know that?
No. You think what?
Do you know the Feeding Our Future scandal? The scam that was, there's all these indictments related to false, billing on feeding children.
No, that's not true.
That it's not true?
It's not true. The way I know that, no.
These assisted living facilities received over $2.3 million in state money last year alone. A Minnesota Reformer article says he has been paid a whopping $49 million since 2016.
How is it possible that this person who's been indicted in Feeding Our Future also is still collecting checks from the state, running these assisted living centers with his wife?
I honestly have no idea. It seems like the most basic due diligence would have been to run a check of all the people indicted in Feeding Our Future and then make sure they're not getting paid from other state programs. And at least in this case, and I've heard perhaps in others, they didn't do that.
State Representative Kristen Robbins is the chair of the House Fraud and Oversight Committee here.
So this person owns assisted living facilities, and his wife runs the service provider part of it. So he owns the property. One of the properties was purchased with the same shell company he used to money launder in Feeding Our Future. And now that same shell company has been used to buy a new assisted living facility property. It's unconscionable that they haven't done the most basic due diligence to cross-check that Feeding Our Future defendants aren't getting additional state money.
Yeah. Folks are getting really tired.
With this whole Minnesota bull crap going on, knowing that it's just the tip of the iceberg, anybody else in the mood to just not obey, not comply? Like, why do we obey laws? Why? It's... Nobody's held accountable. Well, we're held accountable if I roll a stop sign. I'll be held accountable. Still billions of dollars from the government. You're good. Like, it's just... The ultimate gaslighting is what they're doing right now. And it's just, they're just pouring it, because nothing's going to happen. That's the thing. And we know that everybody's involved, including the government, because how the hell do you not know? With everything, with all the people that are employed by the government to check up on all the businesses. You're telling me they didn't know? Okay, they knew, and nothing's going to happen. Like, what laws can I break right now? Because I don't want to comply anymore. I'm done with it. I'm done.
You know, somebody chimed in on something I thought was pretty important. DOJ discovered mountains of fraud at places like USAID. Mountains of federal money fraudulently stolen, Minnesota, California, Illinois, New York, etc., and even red states. Why didn't congressional oversight committees find it? All the fraud. What have the oversight committees in Congress been doing for the past 20 years? Why do we have to find out through DOJ and through journalists that go around asking questions? Why aren't they doing their job? President Trump said there's more fraud in California than there is in Minnesota, if that's even possible. When you add in election fraud, then they are tied for first. 2 crooked governors, 2 crooked states. I've seen many people make videos out there, folks, saying, hey, how come President Trump keeps putting out truth messages and not having everybody arrested? Why isn't he doing anything, blah, blah, blah. I hear this all the time, and I'm really amazed that so many are saying that he's not doing anything. Well, if he wasn't doing anything, how would we have the exposure that we're having right now? Number one, if he's not doing anything, then why do we have so many arrests and so many criminals being deported? If he's not doing anything, why did he offer illegals $2,000 to $3,000 and a free plane ticket home? You know, it's interesting because I talked to people that weren't even aware of that. I'm like, look, you think he's, I've talked to people that didn't know. They said they didn't know much about President Trump. They don't pay attention to the news. And I'm like, from what they hear and gather, it's like he must not be a very nice guy. I'm like, do you realize that he gave money to folks to go home, free ticket, and tell them, hey, apply to come back to America? What other president's done that? Just give him some money, give him a free ride home, and said, you can come back if you do the right paperwork. Can you imagine? But no, the mainstream media won't tell us all the good news. But sometimes, when they get things wrong, legally, they have to come out and apologize.
Breaking news, the Wall Street Journal is out with a new report describing the fallout between President Trump and Jeffrey Epstein.
If that voice sounds familiar and you're listening, that's CNN.
The journal reports that a spa worker from Mar-a-Lago often made house calls to Jeffrey Epstein's home 2 miles away. But those house calls, quote, came to a halt in 2003 after an 18-year-old beautician returned to the club from a house call to Epstein and reported to managers that he had pressured her for sex. The HR manager faxed Trump a letter suggesting that the club ban Epstein, and Trump agreed, which does mirror the president's own public comments about why he cut ties with Epstein. The White House is responding to the Wall Street Journal, writing, no matter how many times this story is told and retold, the truth remains President Trump did nothing wrong, and he kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago for being a creep.
He cut ties with Jeffrey Epstein long before Epstein became a convicted sex offender. A lot of Democrats didn't, and it is corroborated by the Wall Street Journal tonight.
How about that? Forced to admit that Trump kicked out Epstein from Mar-a-Lago. Oh, man, how many more of those are we going to get it? Well, we're not going to get much out of New York City, probably, but old Mom Donnie stepped in case you guys didn't know, and he put his hand on the Quran, not the Bible. And he says that he was elected by foreigners. Well, he was elected by foreigners, but he said, we're going to replace rugged individualism with collectivism. Oh, that sounds like what's going on over in Minnesota and other places, right? Collectivism. They get together and they come up with the crime and they figure it out and they line their pockets. Yeah. And then they had somebody sing socialist anthem, Bread and Roses.
Life closes, hearts starve as well as bodies. Give us bread, but give us roses.
All right, enough of that. Socialist anthem. And what else happened in New York? Well, they don't mess around there when they realize that the election was stolen, because that's how they do things. They cheat, right? The Democrats, it's the only way they can win. Had a box full of New York Police Department uniforms discovered. Yeah, they're dumping their uniforms like, here, we've had enough. We're not serving under this guy. And then, during his inauguration deal, they had this guy come out and sing. Yep, foreign Islamic performers came in for his inauguration. That's the United States of America, folks. You see how these guys behave? You see what happens when they steal elections? You see what they do to our country? They infiltrate instead of invading. And New York's about to get a huge wake-up call. All those liberals, especially the ones that we were talking about and showing the stats for, the white liberal women, which is like 60, 70, 80% of the problem. Well, wonder if they're ever going to realize what they've done. Arthur McWater said, I used to think this was right-wing hyperbole. American citizens pay 40% tax. Politicians use these funds to attract immigrants and give them benefits. Then they loosen voting rules. Then they win, and the cycle repeats. If called out, they call you racist, phobic to deflect. I'm now confident this is a statistical fact. President Trump, the Democrats are a bunch of cheaters and thieves that never want to do what's good for America. As an example, they refuse to even consider voter identification. Why? Because they want to cheat, and the Republicans should not put up with this and many other such things any longer. Shouldn't even be putting up with taxes, right? You remember this?
Okay, now we're going to need a business manager to help us avoid paying taxes.
Taxes?
A tax is a terrible, hairy, liberal monster with big teeth. And the only thing that can stop the terrible tax monster is a Republican. Who wants to be a Republican?
Yeah, good humor from back then. President Trump said the United States has set a world record on investments being made into a country, and it is trillions of dollars more than number 2, China. This is singularly because of tariffs and the fact that if you make your product in the U.S., there are no tariffs. Hence, factories and businesses are being built all over our country at a level never seen before. Congrats to the USA on this incredible achievement, President Donald J. Trump. Arthur McWater said, let me get this straight. 1913, 0 American families paid income tax. In 2025, every family paid income tax, and about 2/3 of it just covered fraud. We have become a tax farm for politicians to enrich themselves and anyone who they can import to vote for them. Well, all this is playing out. If you went to the usdebtclock.org, you would have seen this, the Great Silver Breakout. Dollar to silver ratio, 1913 was $2.66 per ounce. 2026, it's now $1,180 per ounce, right? Dollar to silver ratio. Julie Donut said the banks will mess with the price of silver until they can't. Physical silver, do not let the price you see fool you. Hold on to it no matter what it looks like.
Your battle plan for the next 12 months. Step 1, ignore the volatility. The banks are going to smash the paper price down. They're going to create flash crashes. They will try to scare you out. Do not look at the spot price as a measure of your wealth. Look at the number of ounces you own. Ounces are the scorecard. Step 2, buy the dips in the physical market. When the banks smash the spot price to $68, do not panic sell. Go to your dealer and buy more. Use their manipulation to lower your cost basis. Step 3. Watch the registered inventory numbers like a hawk. That is the real countdown clock. When you see it drop below 30 million ounces, you know we are in the endgame. That is the signal to stop buying and start holding tight. We are watching a slow-motion train wreck of the legacy financial system. The banks are hurt. Make no mistake about it. They are bleeding billions. Their vaults are empty. Their reputation is shattered. They are fighting a retreating war, trying to manage the collapse of their own suppression scheme. They are powerful, yes. They have capital, yes. But they are on the wrong side of history. You cannot suppress the price of a strategic metal forever when the world is running out of it. The laws of physics eventually crush the laws of finance. The squeeze is real. It is not a conspiracy theory. It is a mathematical certainty driven by the structural deficit we just analyzed. China has locked the gate. The industry is panic hoarding. And the COMEX is running on fumes. The destination is $100 and beyond. The only question is, will you be holding the bag of paper promises, or will you be holding the heavy, shiny reality of true wealth? The analysis is done. The strategy is set. The window is open, but it is closing fast. Don't buy the hype. Buy the metal. I will see you on the other side. Like, subscribe and share. It's your battle.
Pretty cool. I've been talking about it for a long time, and we're watching silver take off. I saw the other day, I was looking at X, it said that Japan actually has $120 silver. China's around 90, and somehow America's at something, I guess 72 or something like that. Silver was on a direct path to $90 this week. The momentum was high, but then it mysteriously crashed. Margin hikes raised to $25,000 an ounce, $25,000 to force small players out. Bank bailout had liquidity injected to cover a $35 billion failed short position, and the price discrepancy, the street prices reached $50 plus over spot, but charts remained down to protect the institutions from betting against silver. Price smashed back to $71. They didn't crash the market because it was overbought. They crashed it because they were insolvent and needed an eject button. We're witnessing institutional level manipulation on a never before seen scale. And I tell you what, we've been talking about that with Dr. Kirk Elliott. The price of silver, the demand is going up. And folks, it's not too late to get on that boat. You can go to amweknow.com/gold, amweknow.com/gold, and you will be taken care of. You'll be taken care of by Dr. Kirk Elliott and his team.
You're right in my...
It is amazing what he's done for all of us, and I'm hoping that you guys jump on board with him soon and very soon. amweknow.com/gold. If you guys didn't know, a new report finds that 41% of Netflix kids' content includes LGBTQ themes. 41% of Netflix kids. They're being exposed to demonic behavior constantly. We didn't have that growing up. What do we have? Oh, we had a lot of, I don't know, how do I put this? A lot of rage. We had the road runner, right? And the guy would fall, and then he'd fall at the bottom of the mountain, and he'd get back up. And next thing you know, he's alive, and he's chasing him again, and he'd fall all the way down and crash, and then he'd get back up and do it again. So we had a lot of violence, but didn't see Roadrunner with a LGBT flag on his tail while he's running. Nope. Some other things to really think about is our food.
This is why fast food is getting worse. So a company called Leprino Cheese controls 85% of the cheese in the United States and provides the same exact mozzarella for Domino's, Pizza Hut, Papa John's, and Little Caesars. Sysco is the largest food supplier in the entire world, providing frozen food that is reheated by over 600,000 restaurants, bars, and other venues. So much so that many restaurants will offer the same exact item packaged differently, like molten lava cakes or spinach and artichoke dip. Lamb Weston is responsible for about 80% of the fries for companies like Popeyes, McDonald's, and Burger King. The only difference is in the cut and the oil, but otherwise the potatoes are exactly similar. Even the cheesecake you get from many sit-down chain restaurants like Red Lobster come from the Cheesecake Factory themselves, who, despite providing desserts for hundreds of chains, coincidentally is one of the only restaurants of scale that actually makes all their food in-house from scratch. So next time you go out to eat and feel unsatisfied with your food, just know you're justified because it's all frozen from the same exact place.
How about that, huh? So hopefully we're watching our health and things are changing in that way. And just wanted to show you some more things going on behind the scenes, in case you're wondering.
Fox News alert, ICE announcing a brand new operation to conduct welfare checks on the 450,000 children that the Biden administration placed with unvetted sponsors, some of whom were sex traffickers, gang members, and abusers. The Trump administration has already located more than 24,400 children, and some of these stories are absolutely heartbreaking, like this one. A 1-year-old unaccompanied minor crossed the border during the Obama administration. That little girl is now 12 years old. During her 11 years in America, she lived with a series of relatives and endured horrifying abuse. According to Fox's Brooke Taylor, she was found in the custody of 2 sisters who have now been arrested. The 12-year-old was found, quote, with injuries all over her body, extreme malnutrition, and an infected gash on her head and zip ties around her wrist. Among those who abused this innocent child were her one-time sponsor, a distant uncle that she was placed with in 2024, despite being an illegal immigrant with a criminal conviction. That sponsor, that alleged abuser, was given temporary protected status by the Biden administration. Why?
Imagine if HRC would have got in. Imagine Biden would have been able to continue. If Kamala would have been moving forward, where our country would be now. That child would have never been found because they wouldn't have been looking for her because the administration would have never done anything. Remember, we're in a mission to rescue our children. Many of them are getting caught, these criminals. U.S. Department of Labor said the year of the Patriot, the best is yet to come. Never forget this as we move forward. Also, if you guys weren't looking at this, Ultra MAGA Dean Erickson caught this. Dan Scavino had an ex-post Happy New Year, just wait for it, with a 17-second video singing Ice Ice Baby and has a timestamp of 12:16 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 0016 military time. The 17-second video is letting us know this is a message directly from Q, also known as President Trump. And the timestamp of 0016 is the message he's relaying to us all. Q16. Get the popcorn. Friday and Saturday will deliver on the MAGA promise. POTUS knows he must clean house, government, in order to free up and demonstrate who has authority in order to pass important legislation. This was always the priority. Remember, Attorney General Sessions cannot look like an impartial player that is out to get all former Obama team members, as we need him for other important work. All will come into focus, and for anyone to think POTUS is not in control is kidding themselves. Also, he's 100% insulated with zero risk of impeachment. It's a fact. Happy New Year, Patriots. Get your popcorn. Let's see what happens. And then we had this post. You saw that in the intro that I showed. Here's the full post from Dan Scavino. You can see it's a wonderful American aircraft making moves that you just think would be impossible, but it's absolutely brilliant. It's almost as if fireworks are going off and more. 42-second video and 42 on the Intel board says we serve at the pleasure of the president. DJT. Never forget, folks, we don't worship President Trump. We are allowed to ask questions, to wonder what's going on. But I tell you what, we only see him when he's on screen. A few moments here, a few moments there. We have no idea what's going on behind the scenes in the secret meetings that are playing out, all of the leaders and what they're doing and what they're up to. Behind the scenes, taking out this evil every single day. They're not going to forecast and tell us what they're doing when they're taking out the enemy. But it's great to know that they're communicating with us through the Q board so that we understand, hold the line. On my signal, we're going to make the moves. And when those moves come, it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Todd Trotter said this, posted this for Happy New Year. He said, "For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. They are plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope." Jeremiah 29:11. Dear Lord, I look forward to the good plans you have for my life this year. No matter what each day holds, I know all will be well because you are always with me. And that reminds me of the verse that we hold to on this channel, Romans 8:28. And we know that all things work together for good to those who love the Lord, to those who are the called according to his purpose. Let's never forget that.
For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, once again, we come before your throne boldly, looking to you, the author and finisher of our faith, to help guide us and direct us in our daily lives and where we go, how we move, how we talk, how we engage with others in different situations, how we answer questions that are very difficult at times. We certainly need your help. We thank you for the leaders that you brought before our country, many of them flawed human beings, but you can use them. We've seen throughout Scripture how you take flawed people and use them for your glory. We certainly hope when this is all playing out and said and done and these evil ones continue to get taken in and our country gets cleaned up and we're singing victory and we remember that it is biblical and nothing can stop what is coming, we will look to you and say thank you and worship you in spirit and truth. We ask for continued protection over those on the front lines that are guarding our nation and others. And we also bring them before you, that they would be, even for a moment, their eyes open to see the protection you're providing in answer to prayer. Bring this before you in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen and amen. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you had a great new year. We're looking forward to 2026. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. A great time to be alive. I'm excited. I hope you are too. For now, this is LT Semper Fi with Them We Know, signing out.